Hey there, I'm Mike Bertelsen, the owner and founder of Cowboy Cauldron Company. This video is for our new dealers. New dealers, welcome to Cowboy Cauldron. We're happy to have you and I think you'll be proud to sell our products. Thing number one, Cowboy Cauldron, just look at it, right? I mean, it's not a piece of crap. This thing is something that's gonna last for generations. All my friends, my own kids have grown up around Cowboy Cauldrons. They're now reaching adulthood and they're asking for Cowboy Cauldrons as wedding gifts because they can't imagine setting up a household without a Cowboy Cauldron is a fundamental part of it. Another thing about Cowboy Cauldrons that are really key is that human beings want to gather around fire and they want to get in a circle. It's one of the reasons why when you're entertaining, everybody goes to the kitchen. Why is that? Because they want to help cook? No, it's because the only place in the house where you can arrange the distance between yourself and everybody else at the party. A Cowboy Cauldron allows you to do that in a way that a pellet grill or a fireplace can't. These cauldrons can be fairly intimidating, so this is the medium-sized one, the Wrangler. This basin weighs 130 pounds. It's an easy lift. This is the Urban Cowboy. It weighs 75 pounds, but the dude here, it weighs 35 pounds. And it's utterly manageable. We designed this so that any 35-year-old mother could take it to the park with her kids. And I believe we've succeeded. There are 3 frame sizes. Another really frequently asked questions, not just what size should I buy, but why should I buy this? Here's what my space looks like. So this is really key. There are 3 frame sizes. The dude has a footprint of about 72 inches. Point to point. The same with the Urban Cowboy, but the Urban Cowboy has a much steeper pitch. It's much more visually attractive to hold this much larger basin, but it doesn't take up any more space on your patio. Then the Wrangler and the Ranch Boss, the Mac Daddy, both hang in this frame size, which you can see has a much higher level of what I call visual gravitas. It's just a bigger, more burly unit. Now that can cut either way depending on what your space looks like, but if you want eye-popping burliness, this is the frame size you're gonna go with. It's 84 inches point to point, and then here's another thing to remember when you're selling a cauldron. So if you tell your customer, hey, go out and measure up your space 72 inches, put a brick or a beer can or whatever on the patio, they're gonna walk out and go, Jesus, that's a huge footprint. But this is not a hard-sided monolith that rises to the sky. Quite the contrary, most of the space inside the footprint of a Cowboy Cauldron is what I call negative space. Like feet, furniture, dogs, and cats are gonna be in and out of this space all the time. And so what I tell people to do is either physically or mentally, in that equilateral triangle, don't imagine hard sides, but imagine a concave space that curves to the inside. And as you do that, that's going to tell you what the effective footprint of a cauldron is for that particular space. Super helpful and super key. So another thing that as a dealer, you're going to need to describe to your customers is scale. Scale of a cauldron is really hard to convey without having them physically side by side, and even at that, sometimes a customer's not gonna have a sense for, well, what can I really do with this? So here's the dude. Again, the original dude. These are what I call normal sized fire logs, and they go in easily. And you can put 8 of those in here if you wanna go big. This is what I would call something maybe a little larger than a typical fire log, but even at that, and on top of the ones that are already there, a dude holds a pretty big fire. Now, as we scale up, it will be boring for me to do this with each one, but let me just show you the notion. There's one big log. And here's another big log. Obviously I would split that, but to show you, for example, what this looks like, You can put 3 or 4 more of those big things in here. And if you want to have a 3-day fire, which I do all the time, there you go. You don't have to use up all your split wood for a fire. You love split wood because it makes a happy, sparkly, crackly, bright fire, but it's not the best thing all the time. And for a customer who doesn't have any real restrictions on wood supply, the big ones are just brilliant.